Okay, G-Type for 28 October. Got a lot to cover this week, so I'm not going to linger here too long. Got a bunch of stuff added. Had to speed up the video for this week and chop some stuff out. I wanted to show a little bit of the test level that we got going on and a little bit of Krister's level. There you go. That's the very beginnings of Krister's level. So we'll go ahead and move on. So for Team G, we're +1 for GitHub contributors, so a new member. +2 on Trello, and +3 in the team Slack channel. So up to 40. It's a giant team. It's awesome. Really excited. Lesson learned for this week. If we implemented something that you suggested via one of the feedback forms or just something you threw out in the Slack channel or in chat during a club meeting, and then we later go on to implement it, like we didn't think of that on our own. It's totally because you did that. So, but I don't record all of the chat, like who suggested what. So it's possible that I missed who actually made the suggestion. Let us know. We can get you in the credits for those contributions. So that's this week. Art for this week. So I created the launch bay here and this new flying enemy, and then I recolored some existing enemies just to kind of give us a little more variety. Vaughn gave us the beginnings here of a new boss, and Vince gave us the ground enemy 2 right here, and Vaughn also gave us the platforms. So lots of good artwork going on this week. We got lots more variety than we had last week, and I think it'll be really exciting to put together some levels using the new assets that are available. For next week, really starting to think about level 2. We need some environmental sprites, the ground. I don't know if we're going to do like a yellowish atmosphere in the background for that enemy planet or whatever, some sort of ground-based structures, buildings, or some sort of just something to indicate that you're near the surface of a planet. Could also go with another ground enemy or two, some sort of tank or a turret or something. And still room for more bosses or mini bosses. A mini boss, is that another spaceship, or is that some sort of environmental thing, like at the end of the first level of Contra, like it's a big wall that shoots at you? Okay, that'd be cool. So anyway, lots of room for more art. For audio, no new music, no new sound effects. We do still have the 3 songs that Vignesh offered up as a possibility. So interested in getting recommendations from the team on which of those to use and where we might like to use them, because I think they're good songs and we can include them. We have room for a title screen or for the menus, some sort of game over music. I think there's room for a level 3 song. And then special effects, we still have kind of the same ones we've been hanging on to for a little while here. Plus, there's possibility for enemies that sound effects for enemies shooting, like the mini boss or the cargo boss, especially those mini bosses because they do some pretty big shots, and so it'd be nice to have a little bit of audio to go with them to give them a little more impact. For code, Michele gave us the music loops. There was a comment earlier that there was a lot of dead time between a couple of the music tracks, and I think that's because the track was a certain length, but we had told the audio manager that it was quite a bit longer than that, so it was waiting for that excess time to play out before it re-looped it. So Michele went into Audacity and figured out what the actual length of each of the tracks was and fixed that, and I think that resolved the issue. Vince gave us a test commit, so a 6 club member whose first commit in the club is on G-Type, so it's pretty exciting. Ryan cleared the path error. So it used to be that when you're processing level data that we would get an error if there was a path in there, which was what it was supposed to be doing, but now it doesn't show up in the console, so that's better. Also changed the draw order for the cutscenes, so as the planet gets larger, it doesn't overlap the frame on the outside during the cutscenes. And the warp challenge, I think we're about 75% through having the warp working properly. We just need an actual level layout, and then we'll be ready to go on that. And then this morning, Randy updated the player controls so you can use WASD instead of just the arrow keys. So either way there. Next week, HQ Invasion mini boss in-game, planetary approach mini boss behavior, and warp zone layout. So looking for that stuff. For design, Ryan's working on level 1. Level 2, level 3. Is that you? Is that your other you? Cutscenes. Before level 1, it needs some work still. And then prior to level 2, level 3, we need somebody to volunteer, jump in and do those cutscenes. Krister, I think, has us 85% done with the post-game. Like, hey, you won the game. Congratulations, the universe is saved. So a little bit more work on that, but it's close. We'll need to update the demo scene once we have level 1 settled out for gameplay design stuff. Player movement, do we want it to ease in, ease out? I think we should try it. It might work out really nicely. It might feel floaty, but it's worth. I think it's worth giving a look at. How do we communicate controls to the player? Lots of people said, hey, I don't know how to shoot, or I don't know how to fly. And lots of people said, I don't know how to activate power-ups. So some way to communicate that to the player. And, some people brought up a great point. Is there any reason not to shoot? If there's not, maybe the game should just shoot for you. So we should look at that. Miscellaneous, Jeff's working on the story, and then we need to think about how we're going to deliver the story. Originally, I thought, hey, a little bit beginning, a little bit on each of the cutscenes, and then the final little bit at the end of the story, something like that. And then we got that that game trailer that we're thinking about still. For marketing, update video, got 172 for the newest video. The pitch is up to 521, and then randomly week 5 is at 509 views. No idea. It's interesting to see how that goes. The tweet for the week 7 video, 4,600 impressions. Screenshot Saturday, 3,600 impressions. Last week's is 4,500. So still coming down a little bit. I think people that look at my stuff anyway, and that the Gamkedo stuff have seen a lot of G-Type, and so they're not spending as much time on it. But that's fine. We'll give them something new here soon. Did some communication with Stebs. We're going to do a closed beta. So we're going to invite people who are interested to send us their information, and we'll give them the opportunity to use the password to take a look at G-Type ahead of time. The idea is on the 4th of November, we'll send out the announcement, hey, we're doing a beta, and then we'll 2 weeks to try and draw people into that. And then the last 2 weeks of game development, we'll have it out there with people having the opportunity to try it out and see how that goes. So we need a playable version of the game by November 18th when those beta testers can get in there and start messing with it. But I think it'll be fun to see how it goes. It's a different way to try and get some marketing, give us something to talk about other than just, hey, look at the game. So it might be really fun. We'll give it a shot. And Stebs did something similar with Flying Phonics, so it was exciting to try and think about including him to do that for G-Type. Quick demo of the game. So there's a lot of stuff in here, especially for the very beginning. Obviously, this is just a test level. We would not want the initial level to look like this. But you can see that we got different enemy types. And so what I did was the yellow enemies are the weaker ones. So when the difficulty level is set above 25 in tiled, it gives you the red version of the enemy. And if it's less than 25, it gives you the yellow version. So anyway, it gives you a little bit of variety in there without having to do a whole lot of work to get it in there. And let's see, we'll look at the Trello. All right, so here we are, week 9. That's the week we're just finishing up. Still got a lot of the same items in here, although we are clearing it out nicely. So it's coming right along. Chris added a new color, and I've implemented it in some places. This red here is the critical path. So I don't know, there's probably 8 or 9 things in here that I've listed as critical path. And really what it is the levels. We got to have levels in order to publish the game. So the idea here is I tried to minimize the number of things listed as critical path. So if it's critical path, it's something I think we really need to have done before we publish the game. So you can kind of see that we're still we're starting to fill up these weeks here that were a little bit emptier before, but we still got a little bit of room to move here. And obviously we can publish the game without getting all of this done, but the more we get done, the better the game will be. So that's G-Type for this week.